He's only there to attack Trump? No, they're all there to attack Trump. But let's take a look. My man. I'm fucking ready, dude. I'm so ready. God, he's lovable. He's lovable. Okay? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I love a big old rotund boy, you know? He's like standing in the fucking... He's standing in front of a baseball field, right? And the first thing you're supposed to, the feelings that it's supposed to invoke is like Americana. I immediately think he's there to eat glizzies, okay? Like, I do not think that he's there to play baseball at all. I start thinking about the fupa pick, but more importantly, I think he's there to eat glizzies, okay? Straight up. Oh, God, I love him.
She does join us this morning. Chris, thank you for joining us. I'm going to miss you on the roundtable, but much more importantly, why should you be president?
George, look, what we have seen over the last 8 years, both from the Biden administration and from the Trump administration, is folks on the Trump side who put themselves before the American people. That's exactly what he's done each and every time when there's been a key decision to make. And Joe Biden has shown he is simply not up for the job. I've been tested over and over again in a blue state when I was governor, a very difficult place to govern. And I know how to bring solutions to our party and, most importantly, to our country.
I guess the big question is, how are you going to get there? You're pretty far behind in the polling, at least the initial polling right now. It's very early. And you're kind of caught in the Republican Party between the pro-Trumpers who don't like the fact that you don't support him right now and are critical of him, and the never-Trumpers who don't like the fact that you stuck with him for so long. So how do you find a lane?
George is cooking his co-host, dude. That's fucked up, George. We've spent so much time together, man.
George, I think there is only one lane to the Republican nomination for president, and Donald Trump's at the head of it, and you need to go right through him and make the case against him. And that's what I intend to do, while also making the case for leadership that doesn't turn its back on Ukraine, for leadership that says, yes, we have to be fiscally responsible again, for leadership that says we should have educational freedom, and that when you make promises as a presidential candidate, you should keep them. Donald Trump promised to replace and repeal Obamacare. He didn't do it. Donald Trump promised to build a wall.
I need polling on this, even though I probably wouldn't even trust polling on this. I need to see what, like, constituency in the Republican Party is like, I'm scared of Donald Trump's statements on Ukraine. Like, I need to know who you're running for other than the military-industrial complex and, like, big donors from, Raytheon and Northrop Grumman and the like. Like, who are you saying that for? Because, like, the Democratic Party already does enough of that. You know what I mean? Like, there is an alternative for people who are like, oh my God, we have to do everything we can. We need to give $700 billion to Ukraine. They're in the Democratic Party. They're like, oh, dude, Zelensky is gay. Like, we love that. Ukraine is so pro-trans, actually. Those are guys in the liberal side, okay? So who on the Republican side is like saying, take away all that money that we're giving to Ukraine and actually make sure that you spend every single dime on, like, I don't know, bombing Iran or something? Because if you ask the Republican base, as far as I understand, their opinion is, why the fuck are we fighting against Russia? Vladimir Putin keeps saying he wants to kill homosexuals, and we like that. Okay? We want to take that money away so we can bomb Mexico. So we can bomb Yemen. Like, those are bombs that Ukrainians are using. Ukraine pro-trans. Have you ever been to Eastern Europe? It's called sarcasm. Ukraine is not pro-trans, you dumbass. I'm saying that's how libtards justify it. They say, oh, Ukraine is like, the European side of the Slavs or whatever, okay? I'm literally fucking making this. We have the same opinion. Anyway, stop yelling at the other guy, the gray name, for getting it wrong. He didn't understand.
Across the border of Mexico and have Mexico pay for it. He didn't do it. He promised to balance the budget in 4 years. He left with the largest deficit of any president.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Deficit hawking is only a tool that you wield to bully Democrats when they're in charge. No time frame in the history of the United States of America, especially in contemporary American history, has a successful Republican president advocated and followed through on the deficit, on deficit hawking, on fixing the budget. That's never happened. The only time a president that has done that on the Republican side in contemporary history was a president that fucking failed after. Okay? No, I'm saying Republicans. Democrats are the ones that actually do, weirdly enough, which they're not supposed to, care about the deficit and fix it every time. They're fucking idiots.
President in history, and he promised to retire our national debt in 8 years, and he added trillions to it.
Yes, I'm talking about George H.W. Bush for the chatters. The only time in contemporary American history where a Republican president has ran on and even lied about, as a matter of fact, and got punished for deficit hawking when they were in power. Okay? Like, wasn't it read my lips, no new taxes? So, in like recent American history, Republicans have consistently, especially since the Reagan era, with that exception, always just like fucking not giving a shit about the deficit unless Democrats are in charge. And the only reason why they care about the deficit is so they can bully the Democrats and just destroy their agenda, which is not even a real agenda to begin with, but you know, it's just an effective cudgel, an effective weapon to wield, like a subscription at the top of the hour, a $5 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime is the most effective way to stop seeing ads at the top of the fucking hour. Okay? If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here is the 3-minute ad break now. God, I've been serving him up today.
Broken promises like that, George, aren't acceptable anymore to the American people. The stakes are too high. That's the case you need to make, and if you make it effectively, I think we will be the nominee.
The other big question is, are you going to be able to make the case? You know, the Republican, in order to get into the Republican debates, you have to pledge to support the Republican nominee, but you've said you're never going to support Donald Trump, even if he gets the Republican nomination for president. So will you be on the debate stage? Can you support Donald Trump if indeed he is the Republican nominee?
George, I'll be on the debate stage, and I will take the pledge that the RNC puts in front of me just as seriously as Donald Trump did 8 years ago when he signed the pledge, as Reince Priebus went up there and begged him to do it. And then on the first debate stage, he didn't raise his hand to say he would support the nominee. I will do whatever I have to do, George, to be on that stage and to be able to make the case to the American people that there is a need for new leadership. And I'll take the pledge.
He said, I'll lie just like Donald Trump.
So you're saying you're going to take the pledge, but you don't really mean it?
No, what I'm saying, George, is that I'm going to do exactly what the RNC has set us up to do. 8 years ago, Donald Trump signed the pledge and then absolutely disregarded it in the first debate, and there was absolutely no penalty for that. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to save my party and save my country. We're going to get the 40,000 donors at least that you need to be on that stage, and we're going to make the case directly to the American people, George.
But if Donald Trump gets the nomination for president, will you vote for him?
George, he's not going to get the nomination for president because I am.
Chris Christie, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News.
That's so funny. I mean, so much copium. It would be pretty funny, though. Like, I think Chris Christie is objectively better than Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump. I mean, he's still awful, super fucking corrupt, just a horrible monster in general. But I mean, he's never going to get it. But it would be better. Not that it fucking matters, again, because the bar is, yeah, look down. That bar is down there. No, that bar does not exist, basically, on the